Hey, how are you? Welcome back to Red Shoes Diary. I hope this finds you fat and sassy. Hopefully, it finds you dry. Seems like the last little bit, weather is from one extreme to the other. We had some 20s below it. Had rain. We've had in the last few weeks snow. And it jumped up to about 65 or 70 and then jumped back down. The weekend hasn't been too bad. And then big portion day here. It rained yesterday. And then turned around and rained again this morning. So, Mother Nature's got her own idea what she's going to do. That's just simple as it is. I don't care who you think you is. I don't care what meteorologist you talk to. Mother Nature will decide what she's going to do whether you like it or not. So I was going to do something outside. Tried to do one up on the ridge, but it can't decide if it wants to or not. It looks like it's going to clear up. The next minute you look like it's going to rain. So maybe by next week it will be. I can go ride somewhere and check it out. But if not, well, that's okay. Mother Nature do her thing. And I can come back down here far side, which, well, weather's good enough. I don't have to do a far side right now either. Ain't no far going. Maybe I'm done with that for the winter. We'll see. But I was this past week. Cousins called, live across from here, and they had a cow. She was stuck in a hay feeder. For you don't know what a hay feeder is, a hay ring or a hay feeder, whatever you want to call it. It is usually they're 6 to 8 foot across, about 4 foot high. Usually the lower foot or so is smaller slats or whatever. So when you put hay in, it don't come out the bottom. And about 2/3 of it, it will be that tall. There'll be gaps in the pipe, about that wide. They can stick their head in, pick or whatever. So she'd call and say, "Well, you want to help him get that out, get her out of that hay ring." I said, "Well, okay, yeah, I'll be over in a minute." So went up there. He said, "I was trying to figure out earlier today." He said, "It was over here, the ring was." And I got to look and I thought, "Well, where'd the ring go?" The next thing he knows, he sees it, and the cow's in the ring. So we're up on the ridge. We start driving down too. Well, that cow by then got down near the pond, and all I could think was, "Sister, you go in the pond unless you go to bubbling about 3 times. I'm not going in the pond after you. This one's still sort of cold and nasty wet like." That ain't happening. So we get down there. She just sort of looks at us, and what she done, best we figure one of the other cows, they scooted the hay ring over, picked everything, just kept sliding it over. One of them's got horns. I don't know if he hooked it and flipped it up on its end, or one of them just kept pushing it with a head where it flipped it up, but it was on its edge. So best we figured while it was up on its edge, she got in between it and stuck her head in there somehow, and it fell over, and so that old big ring just fell around her, and her head's stuck to her. Well, of course, we get to her. She decides she's going to keep moving. I finally got up close enough to her, and I got her stopped. She just finally did stop. I'm like, "There, sisters, calm down, just stop." Now she's calm. She backs her head out of that slot, and she just standing perfectly in the ring. I'm like, "Well, shoot, this ain't bad." Grabbed the edge of the ring, we got it stood up. All she had to do is walk out. We're like, "Come on, sister, just walk out." Well, what does she do? She just turns back around and goes right through the edge of that ring again. Right up there again. As soon as she throws her neck through that ring, through the feeding section, it falls back over, and here she goes again, dragging that ring across the field. Well, there we go again, grabbing the ring. We finally got her stopped again. As soon as we stopped her, she backed up. She just look, well, she takes her head right out of it. I'm like, "Sister, just, what are you doing? Hang on a minute." So we stand the ring up again. Well, she's standing there looking at us and looking. I'm like, "Now, just don't go through. Don't try to go through it again, honey. Don't go the way you don't go around that. Go on. Go to freedom." Well, she did. She finally went around. Now she tried about 10 foot. She just stopped, turned, looked around. She wasn't excited. Nothing. She just sort of looked at us like, oh, okay, yeah, that works. Yeah, appreciate it. Okay. We flipped the ring back down so she can't get back through it like that again. But, we're just shaking her head laughing. What else can you do? Things like this happen all day, all the time with farm. You just shake your head. But later on, last few days, I got to study on that and got sort of tickled. Because our old cows back like we are in life lots of times. We get something, we travel around, we do this, whatever, and pretty much we got open choices. Lord gives you freedom of choice, how you want to go, what you want to do, how you want to conduct yourself. He gives you, it's like choice between heaven and hell. He gives you that choice. That's simple as it is. It's a choice. He don't want you to go there, but if you choose that path, you choose to turn your back on, well, okay. It wasn't him putting you there. You chose that path. But sometimes in life, that's how we are with that path. We get caught up in that old hay ring, and what do? We just keep going forward. It gets harder to push forward, harder to push forward. We can't seem to be getting nowhere. And it's just like, Lord. And finally, a lot of times you just come to a dead stop because you have just put yourself in a predicament. You ain't got no other choice. If you finally stop and I guess back up, take a breath, and say a little prayer to the Lord, need a little help down here. And I wonder if he ain't up there looking down like we was down there at you, dragging that around. Not where you need to be, but just decide I'm going forward. I'm going to do as I please. This simply is, I'm in the middle. This ain't stopping. And then us stopping, and he coming down there. Okay, I'll help you. And he does. You get a little breather. He flips that old ring up for you, life. You're looking around. Well, this ain't okay. And you can choose a different path. You can go left. You can go right. Away from the ring, away from all this has encircled you all this time. But what do? You plow right back into it again. Take right back off again. You keep doing the exact same thing, and guess what? What happens? Nothing changes. You're right exactly where you was before because you won't make a calculated decision to change your ways, to change your bullheadedness going straight forward. You back up, you take that breath, and what do? You go, wow, and you feel relief. And a lot of times in that time is when you should be looking at your choices in life. What have you made? Are you a person who's quick to anger all the time? You get to where any little thing you just fly off the handle at people, and those people ain't around you as much because of it. You yourself as a person, lots of times you don't like being around angry people. You don't want to be in the middle of this chaos and stuff all the time. Especially as we get older, we find we like peace a whole lot more. But there you are, still right into the middle of it. Good Lord, you'll pray, and good Lord give you some rest and give you a little peace. And instead of looking around you and go, okay, what is causing me? What's hampering my life? What's hampering my forward motion? What's hampering my peace? Lots of times we want to blame other people. It's easier to blame other people. If they hadn't said that, I wouldn't act like that. Well, maybe they said that, but they don't. Your choice to act the way you do or do the things you do, that's your choice. That's on you. Ain't on nobody else, folks. You have to look at yourself and accept that responsibility. Simple as it is. And when you take that stop and you take that breath and stop running headlong into whatever, run around like a cow in a hay ring. How about that? If you just stop back up, maybe the good Lord will reach down there and give you that breath, flip that ring over. And maybe it will take 2 times or 3 times. The Lord talks about forgiveness 7 times 70. But you got to be a contrite spirit. You got to really mean it when you say, hey, Lord, I'm sorry. Help me out here. But, the choice is yours. When you take that breath and ask for help, and he walks over and flips that hay ring up, Are you going to hit it wide open, hit it again, thinking you get the, oh, well, we run off, I've run off that cliff to hit the bottom. But I think this time, if I go up there and I hit the brakes quicker, oh yeah, I ain't got no brakes. But I ain't gonna hit the bottom this time. Well, guess what? You're gonna hit the bottom again. It don't really matter, folks. You got to make a decision. Say, whoa, I've got choices here. This choice has put me in this position. You know, especially if you're a person who stays mad and angry all the time. Choices has put you there. There comes time, people's helped me by me following the wrong people or hanging out with the wrong people, put me in bad situations sometimes. And if I hadn't hung out with them, maybe I wouldn't have been there. But I chose to hang out with them people. I chose to put myself in that position. You can't blame it on everybody else. And when God comes and gives you a little peace, He opens that ring up for you and says, listen here, my child, don't go forward. Don't go do the exact same thing. Go to the left, go to the right. Turn around, reverse. Do a 180 if you got to. And get out of this. If you look around and you're missing out on a lot of stuff, well, what's causing it? Sometimes the reflection of ourselves hurt a whole lot. But the Bible talks about humbling yourself. Sometimes that is the hardest decision you'll ever make in your life, to become humble. And go, okay, Lord, I'm sorry. The Bible says meek will inherit the earth. You will have warriors who fight for that. But the meek will inherit the earth. And every knee shall bow, every tongue will confess, folks. So my question is to you this week. Do you have a hay ring around you? Male or female? Now that was a cow in there, so female, but you might be a male bullheaded like that. Maybe you need to take a breath, back up a minute, and take a breather and say, Lord, help me out here. Take this old ring off of me. Maybe it's like a millstone. It talks about in the Bible about it, people being so stiff-necked and millstone around their neck. They cannot bow. They would rather stand there. They'd rather keep the charging right in the middle of that than to take a step back, bow their head, and ask for a little help, ask forgiveness. Lord, I need a little help down here. Because nobody's going to tell them what to do because they're too proud. Sooner or later, pride comes before haughtiness and destruction is what my Bible tells me. And if you don't think He won't get your attention, He will. He might eventually leave you in that hay ring. You might run off in the pond, and that will be it. There won't be nobody there to pull you out. There won't be nobody there to take that ring off your neck no more. Because it'll be done past that time, folks. But anyway, I hope you have a great week. I hope that old hay ring ain't around your neck. If it is, I pray that you take time to stop, pray, take a breath, and ask the Lord to help you out. He'll always help you out if you're honest with Him. Humble yourself a little bit. Bible tells you, bring your problems to you. He will give you rest. He don't tell you snap His fingers and fix it. But there's definitely a peace in there when things are going wrong that you finally turn over to Him and say, okay, Lord, I know you got me. I know you're here with me. I know that old ring's gone. You took that ring out. Show me the way. And I'm here. I'm listening, Lord. I'm listening. Because sometimes, you got to be quiet to listen. Even if your mind's whirring 100 miles an hour, sometimes, you just sit and read the Bible where you get off from everybody else in a darkened closet, because it speaks about that in the Bible. I think that's just to make you talk to Him, nobody else. You can't look at this old phone or online or on your tablet or whatever. Once you're inside that room by yourself, and it might be just your bedroom door closed. You got the music off, you got everything else off. It's just you and Him. Ain't nobody else to blame at that point, folks. It's just you. Sometimes that's what He needs you to do. Stop a little bit, cry out. But, as always, folks, I hope it makes you smile. More than anything, I hope it makes you think. Hopefully it makes you talk to the good Lord a little more. Whatever that old ring's around your neck, or whatever's dragging you around, slowing you down, or whatever, maybe you'll take a little time, take a little breath, back up a little bit, drop your head, say, I need a little help, good Lord. But as always, I hope you have an incredible week coming up. Looks like we're going to have closer up in the 70s. Have some rain chances coming in, but I am going to try to sneak off right a little bit, maybe. Hey, it's chores to be done, but maybe I'll sneak off anyway. And as always, may the good Lord take a liking to you, not too soon. And as always, Austin.